Good morning, most amazing artist.
Good morning, Miss Lowe.
Well, some of you said that mashed potatoes were your favorite Thanksgiving food, and this is what the potato plant looks like. So let's do our root vegetables, thinking about what grows under the ground that you might eat this Thanksgiving. We're gonna do one at a time. Let's start with the potatoes. You don't have to put your potato here. You could put your potato here, here, here. If I fold my paper in half, like this, I can see that there are two root vegetables on one side and 3 on the other. So you can kind of plan it. Maybe you want to do 2 on one side. You could pick any 2 and 3 on the other. Because the garlic's small, that could kind of go maybe more in the middle or on one side. If you fold your paper this way, you can see that you have the space for the ground at the bottom and the green at the top. If it helps you to fold your paper to see where you're going to be coloring in the different spaces, you can. But if you want it to be nice and straight, you could leave it nice and straight. You need to put your name and your class code at the bottom. You all are 5th grade and you come on day 2. So you're 5-2. In the middle of my paper, I'm going to fold it so I can see that line. Just a little bit above, I'm going to do a wobbly, curvy line. Lines are an element of art. I can use all kinds of lines to make my art interesting and beautiful, or whatever I want it to be. Let's start with the potatoes. So the potatoes have a cluster of, they're like circles, but they're irregular. They're not perfect circles, are they? They're kind of wobbly. So take a brown, pick a spot. I think I want my potatoes to be more like in the middle, so I'm gonna fold it. And right here, I'm gonna do a kind of close to this line. I'm gonna do 1 wobble. I want some potatoes behind, so I'm gonna start in this way and I'm gonna wobble this way. If you remember, the picture of the potato root had some little potatoes at the top. Maybe one's kind of hiding behind. Those get connected to the stem starting under the ground. And remember, they had all those wispy little roots. So really lightly, or if you want to do it a little bit darker, you can add all those wispy little clusters of roots that go every which way. Now remember, we're going to color these with watercolor. But that doesn't mean we can't add some value to these potatoes. So on the edges, I want it to be a little dark so I can make that illusion that it's round. Even though this is a 2D paper, I want it to look 3D. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker on the edges so that I can add shape. And then a little bit lighter as I get to the middle. And I'm going to save the middle for the watercolors. Sometimes potatoes have little blemishes. That means like a spot that, like maybe where the root was growing out of it or a bug got in. So if there's a spot that you want to have, you can do a little scribble. Look how that little scribble right here makes it look like something got, got on it. Maybe a little one right there. And now I'm going to do that with all the potatoes. You could use different color browns. You don't have to use the same brown. So like if I want to try to do a darker brown or even like a little bit of black for the shadow, I can get some different color browns out. This is black. Let's see if I can find a black brown or more of a tan. Oh yeah, you have a black brown? So that might work for like adding some darkness on the edges. Good job. Try to use that one. You can add some more little, you can even like do like some little scribbles for the roots. See how I'm scribbling? Those little scribble lines, they kind of look good for the roots, don't they? Maybe I want to have a little like dark spot over here. But mostly leaving the middles white because the watercolor is going to look so good there. Do you remember what the leaf of the potato plant looked like? It had a tall stem, and then off of that tall stem it had maybe 1, 2, 3 other kinds of stems, and then the leaves were off of these. So the ones at the top had less. So you do, to make a leaf, you're going to make a rainbow, and then a smile. Kind of turn it if I want it to be like that, a rainbow and a smile. And then if you're wanting to do it this way, it kind of looks like a parenthesis, right? A parenthesis and a parenthesis. The bottom ones had more, so you could do like 5 on the bottom ones. And maybe 3 as it gets closer to the top. You could add maybe 3 to the top of the stem. The potato plant didn't just have one of these, they had many of these. So not now, but later, when we're done with the whole drawing today, if you want to come back and like add some more, you can crisscross it. Look how I'm just crisscrossing it right over. I can even draw some that are like behind or under. And I know it looks kind of messy right now, but when you do the watercolor, it will all be fine. Maybe your one's gonna go that way. Crisscrossing it over looks really pretty. Yeah, looks great. Make them bigger too. You can make them bigger. So you can add as many of those later. Let's not do it all right now because I want you to pick another vegetable. Raise your hand if there is another favorite vegetable that you saw. Maybe it's like in something you like the turkey or what do you think?
Carrots.
Carrots. I love carrots and turnips. Both of those grow into the ground. So let's make our carrot. Pick a good spot for your carrot. Because the carrot's so bright, I kind of wanted to put it in the middle. So the carrot goes maybe a little tiny bit above the ground. So above the ground, I'm going to do a little rainbow shape. Yeah, that looks so good. And then I'm going to come down to a point. And down to a point. You can do more than one. Maybe you want to do a couple carrots. If you're like a little bit more behind, just do one. If you feel like you're ahead and you want something extra to do 2. So if you're doing the carrot, you got to add a little bit of value because the carrot is rounded, right? So let's add value. Let's make it a little darker on the edges. There's another thing you can do in art using lines. So lines are, like I said, are an element of art. You can do something called hatching, which is just making lines like this. On the side of each carrot, I want to just put these little lines. I can press lighter to make them lighter. I can press harder to make them darker. So you can kind of alternate between medium and dark and light and add that hatching line just to make it look more interesting. Maybe a little more realistic. I'm not going to color in the middle because who remembers? Why am I not coloring the middle? Do you remember?
Because you didn't do watercolor.
Yeah. I'm going to do the watercolors. Underneath the carrot, I'm going to add some roots. You have a question?
Are we able to shape the carrots in like a different way?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can do it. If you have an artistic idea that you want to try, you can do it. This is just kind of like a guide for you, but you can change things. So the roots, again, they're kind of like scribbles and lines. The carrot plant has really, really pretty leaves. I don't know if there's any growing in the garden right now. You know, we have a steam garden, greenhouse, and there are things growing in there like herbs and stuff. Maybe somebody's growing carrots, I don't know. The plant goes up like this. Then, just like this one, you have the little stems that go off. These are the only 2 that have the stems that go off like of the main shoot. And then, instead of having those wide, broad leaves, the carrot has little like wispy leaves like this.
Do I have to use that color?
Kind of like how we would do at Christmas, like a Christmas tree. But these are thinner and more delicate. What was your question?
Do I have to use that color?
Oh, no, any color green that you want. You could even use, like, if you wanted to be a bit more artistic, you could add some blue for, like, some of the shadowy parts, like on the underneath of the plant. But the carrot plant is actually a little bit more bright green. My bright green doesn't have a good sharpened spot, but I would add maybe another one that has more bright colors. Did you raise your hand? Did you guys grow anything for the greenhouse this year?
Absolutely nothing.
Not yet. I think last year when I taught 5th grade, we grew some basil seeds.
Wait, we are building, or we're growing plants in our classroom.
Oh, yeah, so that's probably for the greenhouse. So you can alternate between the dark green and the light green. You can see sometimes I don't even touch. Look at this, guys. See how I'm doing that stem and I'm not even touching because it's so delicate. It helps to add to that delicate look if they don't touch all the way.
I forgot.
You don't have to do it like that, but if you wanted to, you can. You don't have to do all the leaves right now.
I forgot.
That's okay, that looks great. You want the light green? Mona? I didn't finish this one. I'm gonna come back and do that later. Remember, we can come back and do some things later. Also, maybe you could pretend a rabbit was in the garden and the rabbit ate all of this one. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, who wants to pick one? Do you wanna pick the onion, garlic, or beet to do next? Raise your hand.
Onion.
The onion. All right, so the onion is kind of a circle shape, but what do you notice about the tip of it?
It's pointy.
It's pointy, so shapes are an element of art. You use lines to make shapes. So we're gonna make a rainbow line and a smile line, but we're gonna bring them to a point. Onions could be small or large, so you can make it any size you want. I'm going to make my onion right here. I'm turning my page. You can do brown, oranges, or yellows for your onion. Maybe it's gonna come a little bit above the ground, so make a little parenthesis. Then a rainbow shape. A rainbow shape. And a smile shape. We're doing the onion. So a rainbow shape. If you turn it a little bit, yeah, you can do it in orange or yellow or brown. But when I come around, am I gonna make it a circle or am I gonna make it more of a point? Point. So I kind of come down a little bit and come down a little bit, and that's how I get that oniony point. The onions have lots of layers, so it's okay if you want to kind of like draw some lines through it. These lines on this side make this curvy motion like a parenthesis, and this side makes the other side of the parenthesis. Just like with the other plants, the roots, we can add some values. We can be darker on the edges. We could add some like messy parts where the skin of the onion is kind of peeling off a little bit under the ground. So I do that by scribbling. So I'm gonna, scribble, scribble, makes that messy kind of look. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Scribble, scribble on the edges. That also like scribbling a little bit on the edges makes it also look a little bit more rounded because that adds value to the edge. Kind of cover up the ground part at the top. Who remembers, what did we talk about for the roots of the onion? Do you remember what those were like? Where did they came? Oh, those were beets. They came from right here.
Onions can be purple too.
They're kind of a little bit longer in the middle, and then shorter on the edges. You can make those a little bit scribbly too in the middle, where the roots get all wound up together. Before you pull it out of the ground, the roots kind of are like in a bunch, so you can scribble a little bit in the middle. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on to the stem. All right, okay. So, Mona, if you're not ready to move on to the stem, that's okay. Remember, I'm going to replay the video, so you're going to get to see it again. The stem of the onion goes up, 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 up in a nice straight line. And then it comes on the other side like a close parenthesis that's coming up to meet. Do another one going over here. Maybe one's going this way. They shoot straight out of the ground. What if I want one to be behind, a leaf to be behind this leaf? I can come up off the edge a little bit of the top, and then maybe from right here, come up and meet. Let's try that on this one. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 and meet them. Maybe one more behind. That's how you can make some look like they're behind. If you wanted to add some value, you could add some value with another color. On one side, maybe add a little bit of light green. This is like an optional, if you have a little bit of extra time, you might want to do this. What's a good shadow color? Like if I want to show like the, yeah, blue or purple. So right here, kind of where the sun is not touching it, I'm going to add a little bit more color. Remember, you're going to color this in with green watercolor, so don't worry about doing too much right now.
I think I did too much.
No, it looks great. Okay, the beet. You remember the beet, guys? What color is a beet root?
Purple.
Or purplish red? Yeah. Yeah. And what color are the stems?
Green.
Kind of purple.
Yes.
And then the leaves are what color? Green. So if you have like a maroon type of color, yeah, that's a good color. Let me show them that. These are good colors to start with, like a reddish purple or like a more pinky one. The onion and the beet kind of are the same shape. So you're going to start with that rainbow that kind of pokes up out of the ground, showing that it's ready to get pulled out.
Are you serious?
And then, did we switch? And then a parenthesis. Do you want to switch with me? Here, I'll switch with you. And just like the onion, a little point. Yeah, that's a good color. Where did the other color go? You can sharpen it if you want. Here's a good color. This one's red. They're both called red. Here, they're both red. All right, a little value on the edge. Lighter, lighter, lighter. Darker, darker, darker. A little bit darker to a little bit lighter. I'm going to draw some little lines down, kind of like what we did with the onion, but not as neat, like a little more messy. The beet, kind of like the potato, sometimes has little nooks in it and just like imperfections. So you could do a little scribble here or there on the edges to kind of show value and imperfections. Raise your hand if you remember what the roots look like. Yeah, kind of like a messy bit, right? So you can scribble again. Kind of like all of them, like at the end of this part of the root, they have that thin web of little roots.
They have, and like when you pull it out, it's like that big bunch.
Yeah. If you want to add some purple in the darker places, you could do that, or some blue to mix with the red and make purple. I'm going to add some at the top, the side. Mona,
This is
please say it quietly. Mona. Great job. You can add a happy Picasso for being quick to say Lisa and then make your Mona Lisa face. This is how I would do a beet leaf. Of course, if you have an artistic idea that you want to try, you can try it. But we'll start with a lineup with the rouge or the maroon color, a burgundy type color. Then they usually have dark green leaves, but you could try light or dark. And you're gonna start here kind of like a point or a triangle. And then up here we're gonna do a rainbow. And then we'll do a wobbly line that connects them because they're leafy, they're like spinach. They're a little wobbly. The veins in the inside can be red or green. So you could do kind of like a mix of red and green. Could add maybe a little bit of light green color for value. Their stems are thick. So because the stem is thick, I'm gonna kind of go alongside it like this and just make it a little bit thicker, maybe color it in with a little scribble. How many of these do you want to make? It's your choice. I love beet greens. This is the only green on the page that you can't eat. Vinny, and the red table. Have you guys ever had beet greens?
I think so.
They're really yummy. So I'm gonna do probably, because I really like to eat them, I'm probably gonna do at least 5 of them. What if I want to do one behind to make them overlapping? How would I do that? So I want to do one shooting up right here, but I want it to be behind. So I'm going to go, and then I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to stop. In art, Mona, did you know groups of 5 or odd numbers look best? So it's better to do 3 or 5 than it is to do 4. So if you're doing leaves, it would look better to do 3 or 5. If we're doing vegetables, it would look better to do 5 or 7 or 3, because odd numbers just look better with art. Unless you're trying to make it symmetrical. Then you want to make it even. If you want to do a garlic,
I don't have enough space.
it's like an onion, but it's smaller. If you don't want to do the garlic, here's another option for you. You could, remember we're going to paint the ground. Mona.
Lisa!
Oh. Red table was completely quiet. Green table was completely quiet. Blue, good job. We can add a point. You want to add a point? Okay, you could add a little bit of lines, not a lot of lines, but a little bit of lines into the dirt. Maybe some cross-hatching. Yes, please. A cross-hatching is when you do the hatching lines, but then you go back like the number sign. That kind of looks good when you paint over it in the dirt kind of texture. You could do a wobbly line like this. Wobbly lines. Don't do too many of those, but just kind of think about like where it would be artistically nice to maybe do some of that. You don't have to do a lot of it. You could do some of it up at the top of the dirt to make it look kind of like messy and broken. And if you want to do the garlic, it's a little circle, a little parenthesis, another little parenthesis. The only thing different about the garlic plant is that its stems are very thin. So unlike the onion, it's super, like you could just do it with one line. You could just do little lines up. See, that makes it easy and quick to do because all you're doing are little lines up. And then your garlic is like the onion where it has those layers. So you can put some little stripes in it that are rounded. And voila! All right, guys, it is time for us to clean up. Great job.